Hello guys, welcome back to the crew. DAC or driving all cars, part number 11. What we are looking here at is very simple, the March and April Summit reward. The Bmw M4. It comes with a performance spec and it comes with a circuit spec. It's basically a 3 Series coupe, or as they say in the States, coupe. But they sorta renamed it to well, make the name thing going. Pretty neat interior, since it is a 2015 car. It's all new and flashy, and also the latest patch did not kill the interior, so you can see the dials and numbers and stuff like that. Comes with a performance spec, a bit more wings and bumpers and stuff like that, spoilers and performance on the side. A little wing on it, which I kinda prefer over those big wings. Some original rims as always. The circuit spec is a completely different story. You can change colors, but nothing will happen because it comes with a DTM spec sort of thing. DTM standing for Deutsche Tourenwagenmannschaften or something like that. Basically a touring car championship in Germany. And this is the M4 Racing, with the little sponsors and stuff like that, just kinda like it drove in last year's season, I guess. And you can't change much about it except for the rims, I believe. You can change the colors, but nothing will happen, so you will always have to go with that rim. Or trim, or that's how you say it. All BMWs in this game, cars we are speaking, not the bikes. We have done the bikes in the previous videos, but cars wise they all have a bit of the same problem, being they are real wheel drive, at least most of them, and oversteering, which sort of makes them kind of drifty cars. And that's fun to drive, especially in free drive. This one is kind of okay, it doesn't break out too much. But if you take a corner at a high speed, it will kind of do that. Not in this full stock, because the speed is not that high, but will do the same with the others. But they are fun to drive though. You can drift around with it in free drive, take corners with it pretty smoothly. You can control the counter steer a bit, you can control the slides. Of course, if you're gonna talk about races, that might be a problem, because drifting is cool and fun to do, but you lose time with it. If you're talking about time attacks or PvP racing against other players. There it is, the F82. Let's see what it can do on the 1 mile drag. We have tested a couple performance spec so far, the fastest being the Aston Martin Vanquish with a time of 22.8 and 24.2 was the slowest with the Aston Martin Vantage V8. This no longer has a 4-liter V8, so it has 3-liter B turbo, 6-cylinder if I'm not mistaken. And that kind of makes it a slow 6th gear, which will probably cost us time. Indeed, it costs us time. 24.4 seconds on the mile. That is the slowest performance spec that I've tested so far. So acceleration, no good. At least not at the lower speeds or lower gears. And what you also often have in this game with the rear wheel drive cars is spinning wheels. Some you can get away with it, it's only in first gear or second gear, but some do that up to fourth gear, which is you're not going anywhere while the others are taking off. Here same story, pretty strong knots, but it makes the wheels spin like crazy, even in third and fourth gear. It's pretty stiff chassis, but brakes are good, which means you can throw it around if you anticipate on the oversteer that will come with these cars. Here you go. Move over. It's one of those cars I like to drive it, and sometimes it feels fast, but then you're gonna do a mile and you conclude that it's the slowest of the lot that you tested. So I don't know. False sense of speed, maybe. But this is why I like it, not to hit cars. That car shouldn't be there, but you throw it in the corner, counter steer, and you can get away with it, sliding through the corners. Fun to drive. That's what definitely a pro here. Of course, what I all babble in these videos is that personal opinion. There are a lot of players out there, a lot of personal opinions, I guess. But I'm just giving you mine in these videos. And here we go, little slide, which you can easily control. S corner pretty smooth there as well. Let's see what it can do on the bumps. Kinda okay, this first one. Second one is a bit bigger though. Gives you more of an idea. Two wheels action, that usually means a pretty stiff chassis. Speed wise, not that superb. And it can't really take a hit either, because that was a pretty small car and kinda moved us. It's a traffic magnet apparently. It's like the fourth car that I hit already. It's a bit stiff though. See it kinda, whole body needs to come out, and I think it would be pretty cool if they came out with a drift spec for this one. That might just be a good thing. Other than that, it's well, if you're gonna compare it to the other performance specs, this one is kinda average, if not below average. Then we come to this thing, the circuit spec. In the beginning it was a complete mess. They repatched it somewhere in May or June to give it a bit more grip, but still, we'll see. First, the 1 mile drag race, and see what we can do in that one. Fastest time here, 22 seconds, 0.0 with the BMW bike. Other than that, we've tested 2 cars in circuit spec, the Bentley and the 8C Alfa Romeo, and 23.6 they had. .0. So out of the 2 cars that I've tested so far, this is the third one in circuit spec. This is the fastest so far, but 1 second slower than the BMW bike, the 1000. We'll see when it comes down to Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Ford GT and stuff like that. What this actually means, this 23.0, but I do know that the circuit spec will be the better one. So best spec, as I usually call it in the description of these videos, definitely gonna be the circuit spec. Comparison to the there's a big difference here, especially acceleration and stuff, compared to the performance one. Also same problem though, a bit spinning the wheels all over the place. But it has a pretty good acceleration in the lower gears, which makes me think keep it on the circuit. It sticks to the road, doesn't like super sharp corners. But if you're going to take it to Laguna Seca or something, it might perform pretty decent there. Bit of understeer in the corners. Yeah, there is. This is like the first car that I find a big difference between the performance spec and the circuit spec. The performance spec tends to break out, giving you oversteer. It's also not that fast acceleration wise. This has a pretty good acceleration. It's more stiff chassis, makes it stick to the road pretty good. Easily doing over 400 kilometers an hour, so top speed also not bad. 417, 418. That's sort of the speeds that we are talking, like BMW bike. So decent acceleration in lower gears coming out of corners, so yep. It just does not like corners and bumps. Then you get sort of an understeer effect here, comparison with the performance that tends to oversteer. This one tends to understeer. I think it's a kind of a track machine. I might do that one day. Do a test with all of these so-called track machines. Mercedes has a few of those as well. Slide all over the place if you take them out on the road, but on the circuit they're pretty good. The same will go for this one. I do advise best spec, definitely the circuit. The performance is fun to drive and mess around with, drift around with, but it's not that fast. This one is pretty fast, it sticks to the road. It just suffers a bit from understeer going into the corners. We'll see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.